Well, my name's Bill, and I'm 93 years old. I'm probably the oldest guy that you'll ever encounter. I was born down in the hills of East Tennessee near the Smoky Mountains, and the house had no electricity. It had no running water, and the only heat we had was a fireplace and a cook stove in the kitchen. So when you get home after church, I want you to look around your house and see what electricity has done for you, how convenient it is, and the things that you have because of it. And when you go to the sink or the bathroom and you have running water, I want you to appreciate that. And when you wake up in the morning and it's cold outside, be thankful for the heat. So I think tonight when you say your prayers, you need to be thankful for three things: electricity, water, and heat. Can you say them with me? Electricity, water, and heat. Okay. Now, we didn't stay in that house but about 4 or 5 years, and my mom and dad worked hard all their life. And when they had income, they used that income, they gave part of it to the church. They used part of it to live on, and they put part of it in a savings account. And that savings account built up over the years so that when they needed something like a better home, then they had the money for it. So you might do the same thing. When you begin to get an allowance or earn some money, you might do those three things. Give some of it to the church, some of it that you need to live on, and put some of it in a savings account. And you'd be amazed at how that savings account, if you keep putting money in it, will increase. And then when you need to buy something really big and important to you, like a car or a house, then you have the money for it. So I guess that's all the advice I have right now. Now, you're going to pray tonight for what thing? Electricity, water, heat. And heat. Okay, thank you.
I guess it's my turn now. I haven't had too much of a career, a long one, of being a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom. And one of the joys of stay-at-home mom is I had a lot of extra time. I could be a Sunday school teacher, Bible school teacher, homeroom, after church activities, and I loved every bit of it, but I loved it more when I was teaching kids this size. So I have some ornaments here. There's 6 of them, but we may not get to all of them, but they're Old Testament stories. I want to tell you that God has a plan for your life, for our life. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit of a story about Noah. This is small, I know, but what do you know about Noah? Anything? Yes. Okay. How about a big flood? Remember the big flood that came? He built a boat and he saved 8 people. I hope I have that number right, 8 people. And then he saved all of those people, and then God made a promise to him after the big flood that destroyed all those people, that he would never again destroy all of those people. And you know what he did? You know what a rainbow is? Okay, he put a rainbow in the sky to remind us that he would never, ever destroy this world with a flood. Then this next one is Joseph. What do you know about Joseph? Anything? Yeah. He was a young man. He was a favorite of his dad, and his dad gave him a coat of many colors, many colors. He was a good boy, but his brothers hated him. And they sold him to some foreign people, took him way off into another land. And he became a great leader because he had a hard time, but he later became a great leader and saved his people and the other people also. So Joseph was a great person. Then we come to Moses. What about Moses? What did he write? What did Moses write?
The 10 Commandments.
That's right. That's right. And on tablets. That's right. And what else did he do? Did he split the Red Sea when a lot of people came, and they walked across in dry land? And then he brought the waters back, and it killed all the enemies that were chasing them. And he too was a great man. None of these people were perfect, but God had a plan. As you can see, he had a plan for all of their lives, step by step. You're young now. You're going to have a lot of steps until you get there. It will be fun all the time, but most of the time it is. And then we come to Daniel. What do you think about Daniel? How about lions? Remember that? Remember he was thrown into a pit of hungry lions? And God sent an angel and closed their mouths, so he came out being safe and sound. And Daniel too had a hard life. He had been sold into slavery, and he saved his people also. Then we have to have a woman in here, don't we? This is Ruth. I don't imagine you've had many lessons on Ruth, but she too was a very poor lady. Her husband died, and mother-in-law went to Bethlehem, and Ruth went with her. They barely had enough to eat, but Ruth worked very hard. She went to the fields, and she gleaned or took what was left over of the wheat, and they survived. But God had a plan for Ruth too, and it was a good plan. She married a very rich man, and they had a son named Obed, and they had a son named Jesse, and Jesse was the father of David, King David. And David was a shepherd boy. He wrote many of the Psalms, and he was a good king and a great warrior. He wasn't perfect. He made a lot of mistakes, but he turned out to be a very good. And then we come to King David. What do you remember about him? He was a shepherd. I think I said he was a shepherd a while ago, but no, this is David, was a shepherd. And he was a good king. He led remember the story of him killing the giant? Okay, that's who we're talking about. He killed this giant, and he made a lot of mistakes too, but God loved him. He obeyed God. God had a plan for him through all of this. God had a plan for him, and as he does for you. And then we're going to jump ahead up to the New Testament. Between this Old Testament and New Testament, how many years do you think passed?
Maybe 100?
How many?
Maybe about 100 or something?
400. 400 years passed between Old Testament and New Testament. But God was working his plan out all the way through. He was working toward bringing Jesus into the world. And of course, you all know the Christmas story, don't you? But I do want to show you one other thing. This picture is what some artist down in Tennessee thought that Jesus might look like. And he drew this picture, but if you will look at Jesus' eyes and move your head back and forth, does his eyes stay right there or do they follow you? They follow you. And that tells us what? That Jesus follows us all the time. And he has a plan for all of your lives if we obey him. Now, do you have any questions? Miss Morris, do you have any questions?
I don't think so. I think you did a great job covering it.
How about walking around with that and seeing if his eyes will follow?
Okay.
So if you don't have anything else to think about today besides those three things that Bill told you, you can think about what God's plan is for your life. Move your head back and forth and you can see. But Jesus doesn't really look like that. That's just some man's idea of what he looks like.
And thank you for inviting us to share with you.
I have a question. This is about when you were teaching Sunday school. How many years did you teach Sunday school?
Oh, 50-something.
50-something. Oh, my gosh.
All ages, and I want to tell you, the oldest student I had was 105 years old. 105. I can't believe it either, but she was that old. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, guys, what do we tell Mr. and Mrs. Western for coming today?
We've enjoyed it. Thank you.